It's really funny though, because like it really like money buys you a level of attractive that you can't just reach without it, right? Like, have you ever seen that video of Matt or that picture of Matthew Stafford, who used to be the Lyons quarterback, and he was all jowly and he looked like kind of just a Midwest fucking six. Like he just wasn't handsome. He just looked like a pudgy faced fucking quarterback. And then they show him on the LA Rams. And he's like gorgeous, like immediate makeover, chiseled jaw, hairline, everything's perfect, new teeth, the whole thing. And they're like, no, it's not like anything that's holding you back from being handsome. It's your money. Like, and it's the same for Sydney Sweeney, where like she's clearly. Are we recording? Okay, she's clearly unbelievably attractive, like unbelievable. But then you see her in middle school, and she's every other person
she played
you went
awkward
to school with.
For all those first roles. All her first roles, she was like...
Kind of like a Midwest.
I don't even think I paid attention to her the first couple seasons of Euphoria.
There's only 2, isn't there?
I think there's
Wasn't the
3.
first where she had new... Yeah, I don't think you're right.
Well, whatever it was, no, I didn't pay attention to her until that bathroom scene. And then I was like, oh, God.
You know what Euphoria is for me?
What?
Is like, it's like Shameless in the sense that I've never watched one episode and I've seen every sex scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Celebjihad.com, dude. I get the gist of the show because of all I've seen, all I've put it together through the sex scenes. And I'm like, oh, she's with him now.
It's a really good show, but you feel like a creep watching it because it's like, is this bumming you out yet? Where you'll like watch porn and you'll be like, you're just too young. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's stuff that I will not watch because it's it doesn't do it for me.
It doesn't do it for me. Also, especially because I'm a parent now. But
sorry to put that on you. I'm like, you might be alone with your whole.
No, but I'm just like, I watch it and I'm just like, we definitely can't start with that. That's definitely not going to do
that
any
part,
numbers for the algorithm.
Sorry,
but it's just like when you're scrolling through, you're like, Jesus, like, get out of here.
Yeah,
show me somebody who, went bankrupt at 28.
I'm a big Lily Phillips guy these days, and she's the one that just. This was pre 1000.
No, she didn't do 1,000, did she?
Oh, that was the other one.
That's Blue Bunny, Bonnie
Blue. Yeah, they both have posh accents, and I think that's almost the entirety of their appeal. Is just you hear this prim and proper lady getting absolutely pistoned, and it's pretty fun to watch. But there's part of it since that documentary and since the whole thing and since she's gained fame, I'm like not into it. Or it's like I only like underground artists.
You liked it when she was indie.
Yeah. I don't like major label Lily Phillips.
Yeah. I gotta move around a little bit. I gotta wake up. I know I'm out of probably shot right now, but that's okay, right? Am I out? It's okay.
I out? Dude, it's just square right on your midsection.
You can like sprawl out a little though. You got some room on the couch. You want to stretch.
You have room on frame. How's your week been? Because now we're checking back in.
It was horrendous in a way because my daughter's illness amplified times 100.
Jesus.
She got like I think the last time we were talking, she got just gotten like a fever and was like throwing up, and we just thought it was the flu, and then it just wasn't going away, and so then like because we finally were like we gotta go see a doctor. It was Saturday, and I was in New Orleans, so this is great that your daughter's like going to the ER. And you're like in another state.
You have 100 beads around your neck and a fucking mask walking down Bourbon.
How is she? Tell her I love her. And also I wasn't like, I think I alluded to this on the last episode or whatever that episode plays at in chronology. But I have like this really amazing ability to pick the worst weekend.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like I'm just like trying to not admit that I don't sell tickets.
Sure.
But I sell okay.
Of course.
Like I rarely hit a crazy bonus. I rarely sell out.
Yeah.
But I sell okay.
I sell good when it's the first rain in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I sell good when like something was supposed to come to town and canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, Bad Bunny canceled. All right. We got to do something tonight. But this was the week after Mardi Gras, so I'm already like a little like, fuck,
right?
You know, even if there's an explanation as to why you don't sell tickets, you know that you have a friend who the second they post every one of those tickets sells.
Yes,
and you're just like, I wish people liked me like that. So I'm a little bummed already. And then my daughter has to go to the ER with her nanny and my wife. And
it's crazy. She dropped a hard ER this early.
Yeah, it's great.
Sorry.
She had to go to the ER and she had a UTI. And yeah, it was.
I don't know how to react to that as an adult man.
Well, Rosebud's making a lot of jokes about her being a slut.
Okay. So yeah, good.
That's how you react.
I'm glad Rosebud has that covered.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask, when is she being promoted to full-time agent?
Yeah, exactly.
UTA.
Oh, I get it.
There we go.
God. That's such a stretch.
I was just trying to veer off of anything that could have been weird.
Yeah, I liked that. I appreciate that. But that's it, you know.
I mean, what a nightmare, though, for a kid, especially that cannot speak for themselves and dealing with something that, of course, your first guesses are neuro, flu, everything that everybody's been going through.
And they're just like, you know, we're just feeding her Tylenol and ibuprofen to kind of like deal with the symptoms, thinking like, oh, this will pass.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's been like 7 days. Like, this is kind of going on long. She's just getting sicker, you know. Just like,
meanwhile, you're telling an HIV patient to drink water.
Yeah, and the funny thing about kids is the second that they feel okay, they just go back to being kids and playing. So she like looked like shit, but then she's like, wah, 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 you know, like I'm just like, I don't think this is okay, but I'm like in another fucking state. And then I pulled an all-nighter to get home on Sunday, and she was like better, and that was such a relief. But I was, you know, like I'm at the age now where if I don't sleep for a night, it's like a 4-day recovery.
How much glitter did you have on you coming home from New Orleans?
I wish I had any.
None.
No, because that sports drink place is not on Bourbon Street.
Okay.
It's in the Garden District.
Beautiful.
And I like, when I do a weekend now, if Rosebud's at SNL, I leave at like 4 on Friday and I come back at like 5 a.m. on Sunday.
Yeah.
Just so that, you know, we don't have to pay like less. So we don't have to pay more than what I made in the weekend on childcare. I think that's where we're at with my career right now.
I think that's honestly where everybody's at with their career in general, is like the idea. I'm not going to shed a light on who this is, but I have people in my life who the husband is like, her job barely makes sense.
Yeah.
She makes $11 over what we pay for childcare. Forgetting that she's a human being with autonomous, you know,
has dreams,
and,
hopes, creative fulfillment.
But just as a supplement for like, it barely covers the child. Just stay home. It would be the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it, man, because it is crazy that there's, you know, this is no political platform, but it's just crazy that there's no affordable option when everybody has to work. It blew my mind even before I had kids that kids would have just weeks off in the middle of parents having just full functioning jobs. And I'd be like, wow, that's probably crazy and tough for parents. And now that I'm in it, I'm like, how is this fucking legal? How do you allow my child back into my home knowing that I have to fucking work
I have to spend
just
this
even
much
feed
time
the
with
goddamn
it?
thing?
Yeah. That's it's I don't know how to I think, you know, like we're supposed to have families that help us with this.
This is so. I think I saw like puberty is I think my only source of news on Instagram.
Why is that called puberty?
I don't know, but they have to know it's close to puberty, right?
Yeah,
they have to.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
All right,
but they're great. Like
public.
Are they a public company?
No, but pube. Like they must not want to be pubic.
Is it like public equity?
I don't know.
Puberty. Who knows? But what were we talking?
Child care.
Yeah. Oh, the family. The fact that there isn't like the taking a village thing, and the fact that they're like everybody doesn't get the help that they once have is having like massive repercussions on how we socialize and how we actually grow up. And then it's like all of this shit that used to be the foundation of families in this country, like the nuclear family, the whatever. It's fucking completely dissipated just by our need to earn to live. Like we have to work so much more to live at the rate that everybody just kind of did when they were 9 to 5.
It's so funny because there is I have like 9 different ideas trying to get out of my head at once. Fucking idiot.
I think that's what happened to me too.
There's this idea that America is like so prosperous and so great, but like the middle class has been so destroyed, where there's literally people that make up $140,000 a year and up.
Yeah.
And then everybody else makes $28,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that dearth in between. So like media, everything is letting you know that like, all you got to do is just grindset mindset and you'll like have this quality of life, and they just show it to you constantly. And then in reality, you make $28,000 a year doing more work than the person that's doing the grindset mindset. And you're like, I'm fucking doing it. And then like when it actually gets to the accounting, you're like, I make as much doing 9 jobs just so that I can have this stupid existence.
Yeah.
I'm making as much as like a former like Piggly Wiggly cashier. And the whole dream is like, no, dude, you grind, you're going to fucking kill it.
I mean, dude, we were just talking about Rocky. Adrian was living off the salary of an exotic fish store.
Yeah.
Like she could live an adult life in an apartment by herself.
Yeah, people used
doling
to like
out fucking fish food to 8 customers a month.
People used to live in San Francisco and work at a newsstand. You know what I mean? Like this whole thing. And I get into arguments all the time because I'm kind of a commie, and I think that there should be like crazy taxes to kind of like bring us back. And, you know, sometimes like there's one thing about the Trumpian kind of like mindset, which is like we need to bring manufacturing back to the United States.
Yeah.
And I do kind of agree with that. We got to figure out a way to do it where we're not like just dumping oil into a river, but because that's like mainly how they did it.
Yeah. Or just throwing kids into small machinery.
Yeah, just being like, yeah, the kids can run the
love
mill.
That. I love
it's
those
pretty
old
fun.
pictures from the Industrial Revolution of like, you're small, so go in those gears.
It's so funny.
It's like they just fucking pop out as blood confetti.
Can you imagine? Meat confetti. Can you imagine a 7-year-old now, like our today's 7-year-olds, having to go back to 1910 and shovel coal so that their family could buy bread that night?
I mean, I would love to kind of threaten my son with that reality.
That's one good thing about what we're doing now, because I think they are going to remove all childhood labor laws.
Oh, totally. I think that's actually going to go away.
I think they already did it in I think like Kentucky, you can work at like 12 now, or something like that.
I love that. I want some Kentucky Nikes. I want some 12-year-old white kid from Kentucky
who writes you a note.
Fucking sew me a pair of sneakers.
So if you find this. Mima not afford diabetic medicine.
they have nets outside the barn windows so he can't kill himself.
That is one of the funniest things in the iPhone factory, the suicide nets. Just somebody trying to kill themselves and a bunch of security guards coming by with a hook. Come on, it's not that bad. Come on.
See, I wouldn't even need a net. I would just need somebody at the window to be like, you're funny. You're funny. And then I'd be like, all right. And I'd just walk back to my desk.
Yeah, that would be nice. But I just, thinking about the childcare thing, I used to be so critical of like, you know, like you'd meet somebody or you'd know somebody and they would be like, they wouldn't leave. Like I started comedy with people and they wouldn't leave Seattle because their family was there.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I would talk to somebody, an acquaintance, and I'd be like, why the fuck don't you get out of Denver? And they're like, I can't. My whole family's here. And I love my family, and my family is, I think, kind of close in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
But I would never stay where they are out of some kind of allegiance.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think they bred that into me, where it was like,
interesting.
Follow your own fucking dreams. But when I hear these people say that, I used to be like, you fucking loser. And now I look at their lives when they talk about, like, you know, like I'll see like a friend, same friend, Denver, and they're like, oh, we're going to, you know, so-and-so for the weekend. Like, we're going to fucking Cancun for the weekend. And it's just him and his wife. And I'm like, where the fuck are the kids? And they're like, oh, my grandparents, my parents live like 2 doors down.
Well, I'm really lucky. I mean, we moved to where we live because that's where we're from. And Nicole's family, her giant WAP family,
Yeah.
all lives in that area. And her mother has been such a huge help. Her cousins have been a big help. Like, they're all really great. Like,
So nice.
It is really awesome. Like, you know, we still pay for just as much childcare as anybody. Like, our bill is fucking nuts, but we do have that help. And it's like, it's such a relief. And the thing, because I wasn't really born with that either in terms of stay around your family. My dad's family is from Levittown. He got the fuck out. Didn't we always had kind of a safe distance from them. We were the elite white trash.
Yeah, you want to get out of that part of that. I think Western Long Island might be the worst part of America. Maybe the world. I've never met a breed of human that is so despicably angry. I'll say this about that western part of Long Island. I've never met a more disgusting, and I don't mean disgusting looking, although a lot of them are disgusting looking. I mean in like just a humanity sense. Like, just like, if you've ever been on the LIE on during commuting hours, you will see like it's depravity at its.
It's a seventh circle of hell. It's in Dante's Inferno, the LIE during rush hour.
It's
because,
like, I think
my father fucking put me on that goddamn road when I had my learner's permit.
Oh my God.
He literally told me to go on the LIE, and he goes, "Here we are, figure it out."
I literally think there was more compassion and consideration in Rwanda in 1998 than what I've seen on Long Island.
I think I'll be at Governor's at some point soon, so come on out to that.
You fucking animals. Jesus Christ.
But that also, those types of people do make for the best comedy audiences. That's why they're really fun to do comedy with, because it's just like, it's a slap boxing match. Like, we're all just beating each other up. It is what it is. I've had some really hard sets there too, when everybody is so drunk that it feels like an actual, like you're doing
like
comedy at Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But I've also had sets there where like it's the perfect cocktail. The mix of, somebody on uppers, somebody on booze, somebody being high, a fucking class of fucking idiots in the back. Like, just whatever the mix was, it's been those perfect nights where I'm like, I wish I could release what that show was.
Speaking of which, I'm doing a gig tomorrow at the Ocean Downs Casino in Ocean City, Maryland. And I feel comfortable saying that now because...
Does everybody roll an extra number 21? Okay. We'll be right back.
But I have a feeling it's going to be a disaster of a gig. I'm just hoping by the time this airs, the check has landed, because we might have to cut this part of the episode out. But I just have a feeling it's going to just be the most...
It's a casino.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real winning there. Unless, I mean, you could get out with being like, oh, all right, that was fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of like... It's almost like winning a fist fight where you're like, that was exhilarating. I'm lumped up a little bit.
I think this is going to be like old.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be old. Like people that like, like a shitty retirement. Like I retired to Ocean City, Maryland. Like where half the year the beach is inaccessible.
Is Ocean City where Secrets is?
Yeah.
That one bar. I used to
love
go
that
there.
bar.
Yeah, me too.
That's a fun bar.
Blacked
Did you go on the big floating things?
I think so. I don't remember a large swath of my time at that bar, but I remember having fun.
It's like a shitty like municipal pier that they like set up like a Miami Beach scene in.
100%, and the water couldn't be filled with more piss or just discarded
poison.
Trash or what. It was just all awful, and it's just washing out into the Maryland Ocean.
Yeah, I wish I never did these kind of gigs. It bums me out so much that I, like the person I fancy myself is like a Mulaney, where it's like I'm doing the New Yorker comedy hour. Where like the editor of the New York Times wants to talk to me about my comedic insights. And instead it's like, I'm going to tell Earl and Kathy some jokes at the Ocean Downs Casino in Maryland this week. I want to be Vulture's top new comic, and instead it's fucking I got dinner at a Wawa.
Dude, that was how I used to do Pocono's Palace or any of those like River Creek romance huts. Dude, the last time I did one of those, so I've done a fair amount of them. The first time I did it, the woman told me it was clean and I had to be dressed up. And so I went with like slacks and a button up and like, flat bottom shoes that I literally had to stop myself from falling off the stage because I wasn't used to performing in anything without grip. So I like almost tumbled off the stage. I look out, everybody's wearing like a Garfield Who Farted t-shirt with the sleeves cut off. A guy's using his like mullet as a beer koozie.
Yeah.
They're instantly like, fuck you queer. Like as soon as I get on stage. And so I cursed off the lady like from the stage telling me to be clean in a funny way and just like kept the ball in the air and it was fine. At the end, she threatened not to pay me.
Because you got dirty?
Because I went dirty and killed. Like, had a great set.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, what the fuck? She finally paid. And then I went it was during the winter. I had to drive up the hill, like up into the mountains, into the abandoned area of this romance fucking land.
Hut.
And into a hut where nobody has been or will be for the next several years.
Wait, this is where you stayed?
This is where I stayed after the show. And I get there and there's nobody around. Like nobody. I go in, the room is so cold.
Yeah.
Like it's outside,
It's
but
abandoned.
inside.
It's an abandoned building.
Fucking nuts. So I get in there, it's so cold, I leave. I drive to a gas station. I picked up a 5-liter Magnum of wine. I go back to the room. I drink the entire 5-liter of wine. I see that there's a door swaying open and shut, and I can't see if it's going outside or where it's going. I walk, there's a room of all mirrors, and it's a fucking jacuzzi and a sauna for people to fuck in.
Yeah.
Ice cold, like negative degrees. I go to the bed. The bed is, the scene of OJ.
Is it made?
I think it was in the 70s. like, there hasn't been creases in the. I think I like pulled the blanket and it broke off in my hand.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, "What the fuck?" I got so upset. I jerked off onto the bed.
Wow.
Like I slept on the couch. So like I slept on the couch with purple teeth from the 5 liters of fucking wine, and I jerked off on the bed and just left the load on top of the blankets. And I was like, fuck this place.
You didn't barf?
And I never left. No, I woke. I think I didn't sleep one moment because I was like looking around for just people to come murder me. It was in the middle of the woods. And then I left at like 5 a.m.
I had a gig when I started. I did it probably 2 or 3 times. And it was in Tri-Cities, which is where they got the materials to make the first atom bomb. They took it out of the reactor there.
No shit.
Yeah, Richland, Washington. And there was a gig.
Is it still an active site, or they?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like very heavily, it's like important to the American nuclear program. But there's a town called Pasco. I think it's in Pasco. It's Pasco, Richland, and I forget the name of the other third Tri-City. But it's like heavily Latino. Like it's like where like a lot of like agricultural workers and shit live. And then there is a casino there called Bullwinkle's, which is like, like probably the size of a Trader Joe's. It's like one of those casinos.
Nice. I like those actually.
And there's a room off of the gaming floor that is like for parties and stuff. And what their comedy show was they put you on stage and then they open the doors to the gaming floor and put pizza on the tables. And then they would say, go. And
oh my God. It's literal rats.
Yeah. Derelict gamblers would come in and grab pizza, and you would try to convince them to stay there so that you could do 45 minutes.
Wow.
And but you stayed down the road in an office park.
Yeah, you
and
did.
One of the offices had been converted into a apartment. And I think they probably cleaned it quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
And you just knew, every other like I don't think most people know like what a road dog comic is like.
Right.
Like a fucking just a real like alcoholic, drug addicted, sex offender.
That episode of Louie with Stanhope is like kind of the best interpretation of it.
Yeah, it's a form of human that we just don't have anymore.
Yeah.
It's like the closest to Willie Loman our, my generation will ever know. But yeah, it was a nightmare.
Isn't it funny though that we did this? Like we did all these things and still have the absolute balls to complain. Like, we saw what it was going to be from moment one. There was no secrets. They let us know.
I kept on thinking I was going to get and I did. Here's the thing. Here's the fucked up thing is I got invited into the fold.
Yeah, you did.
I got the half hour.
You've gotten everything that I've wanted that I never got. Well, and here we are doing a podcast together.
I fucked up once and they took it all away. So
what'd you do? Have you told this?
No, I didn't fuck up like that.
So I was like, what do I not know?
I just was, I didn't like catch any of the waves.
Sure.
You're supposed to catch off of those. And the sitcom writing job, I probably could have wrote out for a long time, but I was like just kind of an asshole. Like in sitcoms, in the rooms and writers' rooms, you aren't really like, unless it's a very special group of people.
Yeah.
They're not like us.
Right.
Like they talk shit, but you don't talk shit back.
Okay.
You know, like your showrunner will, like my showrunner made fun of like my divorce as it was happening. He made fun of like all the choices I made.
Yeah.
And like I tried to come back at him with like personal information I'd learned, and like I almost got fired that day.
Really?
Yeah. Like his wife had dated Don Cheadle.
That's awesome.
And I like was like, he said something about my
Her
divorce.
vagina's named Hotel Rwanda.
That something along those lines in the writer's room. And no one laughed. Everybody just got quiet. And I was like, well, that's probably not a good sign.
But that's where it should be legal to fight. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to you about it before.
Like hockey fights in real life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should be able to pull somebody's shirt over their head, fuck them up, and then you both serve 5 minutes for being gay, and then you go back out in the world. You know what I mean?
You know, speaking of which, I'm really liking this Canada-America thing that's happening right now.
The beef.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen it? Have you been paying attention? I feel like you're not a big news guy.
I know that there is one happening. I don't like the exchange of looks you both shared. Right there, get the fuck out of here with that knowing. Like, I know, right? We talked about how he's never read or watched a single resource in his life.
I feel like I'm shocked you also have chosen the seat with your back to me all the time, because I feel like you really thrive on looking.
I also think it says a lot
episode.
about you that you sat in the GIMP chair.
Why am I sitting here?
I don't get
why am I sitting? Why didn't we sit on the same chair?
I left it open for you. That's
I don't deserve cushions.
It's okay.
That's where it really comes down to.
So
these pillows, is there a worse pillow on planet Earth?
No, this whole fucking couch is made to be hosed off. This is a casting couch. Like, it literally, this company markets this as a couch you can jizz on.
Yeah, jizz repellent, like the Dockers pants, except for jizz.
Yeah, this is it right here.
You know what I'm talking about? The Dockers pants? No.
Dockers makes a pants that's like water repellent, but it was a joke that you could jerk off on them.
From what year?
Now.
Recently, yeah.
Recently?
Now, yeah, they have stain repellent pants.
Sickos.
But in the commercial, it's like people pouring stuff on the pants.
Yeah, like, oh, I've spilled my wine at a party.
It's a guy pulling his dick out and
coming onto a couch and being like, see?
Speaking of dicks, are you guys watching White Lotus?
Yeah.
The dad's hog?
What the fuck?
The dad's hog, dude?
I told my wife to turn it off. I mean, I looked down at my dick and it made a little bell noise.
Yeah.
Like after seeing that, it went ding, 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 ding.
It was Julia Roberts. You looked down, it was Julia Roberts in a pixie cut. Dude, his hog, it was I actually like immediately went and watched Brotherhood, that show about Providence crime families, because he's young in it, and I was like, I gotta fucking see if I see this guy's dick from a while ago.
I gotta rewatch everything he's ever done with that in mind.
Yeah, his
because
dick
it looked like it looked like somebody's nose after they ate crab that they're allergic to.
Dude, his dick was like the size of like a muffin container, like those, you know, the muffin things you pop, the dinner rolls thing. It was like that girthy.
It was exactly that girthy, but it also like had no structure to it at all. So you know it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy thing, is it was just like so it has to, you know, I don't know. That's always what I said about Will Sylvince, is his dick is like the Titanic. Like he has to get several erectile dysfunctions not to get hard.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you know, it's like once it breaches the fifth wall, then it's over.
Yeah.
But his dick is just so big that it could take like softness.
I've never seen the picture.
It's in panoramic. It's nuts.
It's insane. I told you when I went to the gay bathhouse accidentally, I saw a dick there that was like, I actually wanted to go up to the gentleman and be like, can I just like, I just want to feel the weight of it. Yeah. It was like a skinny guy too. It was like Sean Murphy. Just like if Sean Murphy had what's that? Brad, the little person comedian, like a Nick Novicki, just tied to his waist. Like it was.
Do you know what I just thought of? Is like I actually put myself there, right? Is asking a guy, can I just feel how much this weighs? And I put myself in that position and holding his penis. And I don't think I could hold a penis without giving it just one tug.
Yeah, you'd want to.
You'd have to just be like, come on.
Come on.
Like just to fuck with him. I'm going to get you hard.
I'm joking with you. Well, he would have liked it in this instance because it was a gay bathhouse that I was hanging out in. You guys know how you accidentally go to a gay sex club?
Wouldn't it be fun, though, to hold your friend's dick and be like, wow, that's...
You're gay now.
You're gay. You're
gay
hard.
Now. Sorry.
I'm just funny.
I forgot what was before that. What were we talking about right before the
guy's dick?
The dad.
White Lotus.
What was that right before that? Something about a dick.
I don't know. Do you remember?
Oh, the news, Canada.
Oh, yeah, Canada. Yes.
So, Trump did all these like tariffs and they are after a bunch of things in Canada. And Canada is like the entire, like to the point where Justin Trudeau was not going to seek re-election. He didn't. There's a new prime minister, but their party was getting prepared to just lose everything in the next election. That's how they were detested. Yeah. And they are now back in power.
Interesting.
Like,
can I do it? Like, I don't know. Again, I don't watch the news. I do sometimes, but I don't know like a tremendous amount of Justin Trudeau, but I did watch his like speech against like to be like, we will not, this is to Trump, not the American people. And it's like, I never found myself agreeing with something while wanting to take the back of his hair and slam him into a marble countertop.
Yeah, he's an unlikable, kind of twatty little guy.
His fucking face and tone of speech is so just counterproductive.
Yeah.
It really doesn't get his message across.
Well, that's the Rockland County in you coming out.
Do you not get that? Do you not like that is a Rockland County thing?
I liked Justin Trudeau, but I am also like a cunty liberal,
Yeah, I don't know. I have a bit, you are right in the Rockland County sense of things, because as soon as I get a whiff of somebody talking down to me, or like condescending or kind of disrespecting on a level, like my currency is white trash, where I respect, loyalty, like, and all that shit. But it's true. It's like, it's weird that I grew up in a time where those are the tenets that I live by. It's so funny
too, because those are the things that ruin those people's lives.
Yeah.
They're like, just because my dad put cigarettes out on my legs when I would miss football practice, I'm not supposed to go to his birthday party? Just because my dad beat my mom into an inch of her life, she's supposed to leave him like some kind of cunt? I never understood.
You don't react to disrespect like that?
No.
Do you? You're East Coast.
Can you give an example?
Like just somebody dehumanizing you. I mean, I'm giving it.
But that's the thing.
Mazda,
It's like
Mazda, for instance. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
My whole fucking Mazda thing. So I have car issues. It doesn't matter. We got a letter home that said this certain thing would be breaking down eventually, so we got to bring it into Mazda to get it replaced. It falls under this warranty. They've since tried to charge me for the repair several times.
Yeah.
I've had to remind them of the warranty each and every fucking time. I've been 3.5 weeks without my car, and the way that they're communicating with me is giving me an update at 6 p.m. before they leave the office and aren't taking like counter messages. They're not taking any.
You just got to be there.
I just have to fucking
the second the next day starts.
It's so crazy. So I'm just like, I'm dealing with this whole thing, and this is like every time that I'm asking for an update, they're acting like I'm a fucking loser for wanting my car, or like I'm out of my mind for demanding that they get this done before a month, And I'm like, I've been without my the disconnect just doesn't, I don't get it. I think
you should contact the Japanese part of Mazda.
I have.
Because they're big.
I have, and I told them, you remember what happened.
Yep.
I'm bringing the third wave.
You want the Enola Gay to take flight again? Because
I'm going to bring the Canola Gay.
Did you hear that
That's not bad. Did you really not react to that? God damn it. Canola Gay.
I'm so bad that God damn it. You're right. This is what makes me a horrible podcast co-host. Is I think about what I'm gonna say next, and then I'm like, yeah, say your thing. I have a thought. I'm so bad. That was such a good joke.
It wasn't. It's fine. I will
fucked
yell
up.
about it. But this thing is like, so I'm having these interactions and I'm having to reprove over and over that this is a warranty issue. And of course, today they're like, we're going to send you pictures of the inside so you can see for yourself what's wrong with the car. And it's like, the specialization of skills was a mistake.
Yeah.
It was a massive mistake because it initially, it was decided that we would do that based on our ability to work together and to cohabitate and to be human beings to each other. It's like, hey, you take cars, I'll take laughs. Now it's like, I'll take cars, and since you don't know about cars, I'm gonna fucking take advantage of you
I
at
don't give a
every
shit.
corner.
Yeah.
I mean, these are they're borderline doctors because this is a profession that they have to know that much about, and they're like fucking doing surgery on my car.
So if they fuck it up, you could die.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I also I don't know. I do not have the fucking time to learn about my car's turbo and why the cap head or whatever the fuck is leaking. It's like, God damn it, that's why you exist. But it just bothers me that like we've taken that now to being like, well, you should know about that. Like people have shamed me for not knowing about certain things that I then got taken advantage of. It's like, well, you should do your research. And it's like, how does anybody have time to be specialized
I'm
in
a parent
absolutely
and
everything?
an independent artist. You think I'm
just
gonna
in general,
pick up fucking
even if you're a garbage man
mechanics?
and that's not, I'm just thinking blue collar. If you're a garbage man, have a family, don't have a family, you still have all these different things going on in your life that take up your bandwidth.
Yeah.
You're not, why the fuck would I learn about cars and then also like be able to tell what's going on by a picture? They're like, we just want you to see what shape each of these things is in.
But hold on.
It's a chain.
So, but go back. What was the dehumanizing reaction?
The dehumanization is just like the acting like I'm crazy for asking for an update each and every day and being like, my master tech has not gotten to it. Jeez, Michael. And it's like 3 weeks later and I'm like, do I need to show up with a rifle?
Yeah, my
But you know what I mean? Like, it just, there's no other, I'm not saying that seriously, obviously.
You're the next
but
Luigi.
But
Mangione.
it does make you think, like, what actually is the recourse here? Like, what do I do? How does one get justice in this situation? You don't. You just pay to get fucked in the ass. And then they definitely see something else that's going to get fucking broken later on, don't warn you about it, and then that's going to be an issue in 6 months. And then I'm going to pay an additional several $1,000s.
Yeah.
And I just feel it's based in me feeling inept and inadequate because I don't know anything about cars. So this goes back to like masculinity and like it really unravels the fabric of who I am as a man. But it just like, it bums me out that us as human beings are so incapable of doing right by each other.
Yeah.
That the first sight of, this guy doesn't know as much as me, I'm gonna fucking empty. I'm gonna hold him by the ankles and empty his pockets.
I thought you were gonna be more like along the lines of like they say something to you and you kind of fly off the like. Have you ever seen like somebody who's a bad parent?
Yeah.
And they get told they're doing, like, hey, you're not
never
supposed
do
to hang your kid out of the car window to dry them off.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you gonna fucking tell me
Yeah.
how to be? And it's like, yeah, dumbass.
Have you done that?
No, I have not. I told a guy to chill one time when he was like dragging his kid by the arm.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you're like hurting him.
Yeah.
Like fucking knock it off kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what happened?
He kind of rolled his eyes at me and kept walking. He was another like kind of dad like me. I wasn't going up against a Jets fan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because I get worried about that because one, the person is unhinged enough to do that in the first place. So the likelihood of them then confronting you is higher. Like if you're just like, hey, and then also if they don't, the likelihood of them beating the brakes out of their kids because they got embarrassed publicly is higher. So I don't know.
I'm just looking for an excuse to unleash.
Yeah.
I've got so much anger and I can't put it into my wife's jaw.
Well, I mean, listen to me. This is all like, all of this, what I've realized is like so much of life is trying to fuck with a limp dick. Like, and this is me trying to fuck with a limp dick. I can't do anything about this.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be done except pay. And like Jim Carrey says in Liar, Liar, take it up the tailpipe. Like, there's just nothing to fucking do. I'm just bitching.
That is like my biggest, when I get broke, like when my checking account goes down and I'm like, kind of like, can't believe I'm in a position. Like I've been dealing with this co-op and every day they're like, hey, why do you not have more money? Like they're just like what's debt? Why do you have debt?
Mm-hmm.
They literally asked me why I had debt.
That's amazing.
And I was like, what do you mean?
Are you familiar with America?
I had to buy things that I did not make enough money to buy. What are you talking about?
That's literally how this country works.
Why didn't you just start a startup and, get a law degree? But so I'll get insecure and it'll be kind of an obsession. And then I'll look at everything in my life as an indication of that being true. So like in the position where you're in right now, I would be mad that I couldn't afford to just fuck off, fix it. And then I would probably be like, if I was actually doing well, I wouldn't be dealing with like Mazda. I'd be dealing with, Volvo. I should be in a Volvo dealership. And then I would be mad about every single circumstance that because in my life, the standard that I hold myself to, which I have never been this guy, nor will I probably, is just that I'm just a fuck you pay me guy and I just make things happen. Yeah. And the fact that I can't control things is the most maddening thing in my entire life. The fact that I can't just like, oh, we did this, we did that, we set this up, this happened. Like that's what I want.
The control is a huge part of it. Me not knowing things is a huge part of it. Like that's why I don't really even have opinions politically and stuff like that, because I just know that my opinion ends after the first or second question.
It's like all emotion.
It's just all emotion. That's how I react to a lot of things. And so it makes me mad that I'm just like responding in this way. I'm getting this upset. I'm this out of control. I don't know anything. Like I didn't know anything growing up. I never asked questions because anytime I asked a question, I got yelled at. And it was just like, so I've always been weird about and almost like pretending that I know a lot. I've said I've seen a million movies that I've never seen. I've said I've read books that I've never read, just to be able to keep the conversation moving. And just because I don't want to explain,
sound like Mark Norman in a conversation.
I mean, for real, like the thing, the thing is, like, it's funny on a podcast for me to say I've rewatched Entourage 6 times in a row or 6 times all the way through because I have abandonment issues and I need to know how something ends to watch it because it makes me feel safe. But it's not fun in a real, when somebody's like, so you've seen like Godfather 2? And I'm like, no. Yeah. I've never seen Godfather 2. I know it would be one of my favorite movies. There's so many fucking, what was it?
That's insane to me.
I know. Actually. Good Will Hunting is another one that I just watched a couple years ago. And it's all because I'm like, anything outside of what my comfort zone was in the 90s is just out. I don't know why, man. I have a lot of problems.
I mean, it's very bizarre to me. You don't have a therapist right now, right?
Because I have a cold stock tank.
You are so much, you're so much more beyond where you should be with the tools that you were given. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, you're so much farther, like emotionally, like I'm the exact opposite. I've been given everything to like be free of this burden of my own ego and self-hatred and all that kind of stuff. And you somehow came out of like A Boy's Life, which is a Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
I know that movie, never seen it, although it has 2 of my favorite actors and I've watched clips.
You just had like a harder childhood than me and you grew up in a place where you were not encouraged. I fucking like, we had Night of American History Month in Seattle and we meant it. We meant it. Like as 5-year-olds, they were like, "You did genocide. You did genocide."
You had that.
Yeah, and
holy shit.
like, but we were encouraged to be emotional and thoughtful, and like
that's almost like liberal original sin.
Yeah,
that's wild. They just immediately stock you with that guilt to almost live.
But I think that's the whole CRT thing, where like somehow like
What's
teaching
CRT?
history, critical race theory.
Oh, okay.
They're like afraid like you're going to teach kids about racism and then they're like not going to flourish because they're
no, that
so
I don't
guilty.
mind. But the idea of if somebody did say like you are the ones that did it or you are responsible, it's like I'm fine with teaching. Not fine. I encourage teaching about it.
I think the problem is that you do need to teach kids. This is a whole other subject, but
Yeah.
You need to teach kids that their position of comfort
Yeah.
is a direct result of that.
Sure. Can I also, because the way I had an early bad reaction to somebody telling me I was white privileged,
That's fine.
and not like publicly or anything like that, but I was just kind of thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like instead of it's one of those marketing things where the word privilege is just such a shitty word to use in this situation, because I think for a lot of people, they don't live privileged. They live through tough financial stress and all that shit. So what I'm saying is, I think it should be elevated to like basic human rights. Like, it's not even. It's like I feel like I've lived with basic human rights. I haven't lived in a sense that I don't. I've been afforded other opportunities, but I feel like those are base opportunities. Like, people should be given base opportunity.
Yeah.
And not. I don't see it as a privilege. I see it as just kind of like a fucking.
Yeah, I mean, calling it privilege, like
rights.
white privilege, that you like don't get followed around like a dollar store because
I
you're
totally
white.
get it. No, I
You still
totally
have to
get it.
No,
But I don't
I'm
see
saying
that as a privilege.
That's what I'm saying. Like, calling it privilege, you're still poor. You're just
Totally.
not being treated as worse. Jeff Dye one time did this bit where he said, "I don't believe in white privilege. I believe in hot privilege."
Sick.
And just talked to. It was in the middle of like. It was in the middle of like BLM and like Me Too and shit like that. It was wild when he was coming out with it. I was like, what?
I mean, there is hot privilege. I definitely believe in that.
Yeah, but it's not like.
No.
Yeah, it's not like. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
So basically, and you even see the emotional reaction I have to like privilege and like stuff like that. And I grew up good. I'm not even saying this from like, I didn't grow up in a holler in Alabama. Like, I'm not.
There aren't hollers in Alabama. That's more of an Appalachia thing.
Is that true?
Yeah.
No. Floribama Shores.
Holler?
Floribama Shores. That guy that died in his Jeep. He sunk it in mud and fucking.
He's from West Virginia.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. He died during the taping, right?
It may have been either during or right before.
They fucking erased that show.
They really did.
It was so funny. They were like, "Here comes the new fucking thing," and then that guy died, and they were like, "Well, we didn't have like a white trash Italian story. What are you talking about?"
Turns out, giving people with a combined 80 IQ SAG rate is not a good idea.
No.
So what were we talking about? A holler?
Oh, well, I was just talking about how I think it's impressive that you emotionally, because I do think that, you know, like a lot of people around you, from what I can see, and I've driven that road that goes from Nyack up to West Point. It looks real, you know, car in the front yard kind of territory.
I mean, my Uncle Johnny is car in the front yard guy.
Yeah, so
a lot of flamingos on the front yard.
A lot of like stuff that should probably be taken to a dump, but
I'm not
going to fucking pay for that.
Furnished my entire Elmhurst, Queens apartment with items he found.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went there, me and my buddy Tim, the night I moved into my Queens apartment, I had nothing. I had my like bags of clothes. We stopped by my Uncle Johnny's house on Long Island. He's there smoking a one-hitter, doing bumps of coke with tears rolling down his cheeks and being like, just take whatever you need. I'm like, all right, Uncle Johnny, you got it. And he's like, why don't you talk to your father?
We had this soccer coach when I was growing up. He was my friend's dad's brother who had just got out of prison for cocaine distribution. We called him Uncle Bobby. And Uncle Bobby would show up to practice, jeans, leather jacket, soccer cleats, and he'd smoke a cigarette the entire time.
That's awesome.
And he broke 2 kids' legs because he was, I'm not going soft on you. But he had gone to prison for cocaine distribution, and the only reason he hadn't gone for life was because he ratted out his like. And he said that when he got out of prison, he went right back to coke, and he hid in a basement for like 6 months with a gun in his hand because he thought the people that he'd ratted out were gonna. And he was telling this to like 14-year-olds. Oh man! But no, what I was trying to say is just like. It's impressive because I feel like where you're from, all these emotions you're having are just called gay.
Yep.
And also they're all solved by violence.
Yep.
And you are like I can't connect if it's Nicole or if it's being exposed to gay New York through comedy, whatever it is, that you've like had this emotional ability to like, you know, like be a good dad. Who
It's my
teaches
sister
empathy.
too, and my older sister especially. But like having sisters,
Yeah, that'll do it.
I think that makes you empathize. I could have gone down the. I did go down the like men's rights kind of like.
We've all been there.
Yeah, angry at women, angry at one woman in particular, and then cast that to be a generalized view of women.
When I was in high school, I went to high school in a black neighborhood in Seattle, and it was kind of like a low income, and there was crime and stuff like that. And a lot of kids would get beat up when they would go out to their car, or they'd get robbed or something like that. And at one point, it was happening so often, I like was like talking to my friends, and I was like, we should like create like a group that like protects, you know, like we fight back. And they were like, Andy, we're all white. I think this group is a bad idea.
We're on like horseback,
but we're anonymous.
We're like cloaked in something.
Yeah, we got it. And then, you know, we get preemptive, you know, we maybe find out the bad actors and we go to their house and we leave an effigy. We set it on fire. Yeah, so we've all been down that where you let your emotions kind of dictate. And I think that's
totally.
I mean, I think that's the biggest difference between
Sorry, go ahead, you go.
No, just like between like progress and not. And you know, like personal evolution is that you take that second to kind of think about the broader implications of those emotions versus just acting on those emotions.
But do you think that type of personal evolution is being stolen from us? Because I feel like you're almost like everybody has to live presidential from the time they're on social media on. Like you, or at least have to
because I think it's like the whole
presidential.
It's over now because it's like we've decided that as a society that we're just not going to.
Yeah, but it'll be back in 4 years. Like it's like all of this ebbs and flows. I think there's going to be language stuff.
No,
eventually.
I don't.
The '90s that was PC, fighting back, PC. Like it's all like all of this is constant.
I think we're on like a whole nother.
Really?
Yeah, because I think the way that everything's being set up right now with digital kind of kingmakers are in power, and the way I don't think we realize how bad it is.
I agree with you on that.
They did a statistic thing, like they did like a analysis with like psychiatrists and psychologists and stuff, and we are the most narcissistic that we've ever been as humans.
Yeah,
and it's only getting worse.
Well, that I think sometimes makes me dive deeper into thinking I'm insane. Is sometimes when I'm talking to people, it's as if they've never considered that other people are on this planet with them.
You are insane.
I know. No, I know. And I hope actually, because I do throw a lot of myself out there and not, I would wager the large percentage of this is not, it doesn't make me look good. It's just, I think it is.
I think it does.
But I'm trying to expose myself in a way where it's like, I want people to relate to this because there's so much shit that we see that is manicured, like glossed, made to look as if this is the life, this is how we live, this is what we do, look at our business. And it's like, I don't know, man, you know, again, I'm going to beat this to death, but it's like two guys that are doing good, that are relatively smart, that write good jokes, that are doing a pod, all this shit. And we're just authentically, and I think you're the same, but I don't want to speak for you.
Hanging on by a thread.
Yes, and authentically trying to express it through that so other people who are like similarly noticing that like, what is this? Like this feels all Truman showy. This feels like this is set up in a fucking weird way. Like what's going on?
Yeah, because I think, you know what? I think like that's something that sets us apart is that we are feeling a lot of emotions that a lot of people are feeling, but we are deciding to take personal accountability for them.
Right.
Not that we're like great guys
No.
or that we're doing, you know, like hard work. But it's just like most of America.
We are doing the work.
You know, yeah, we are doing the work. And but most of America wants to see, you know, Post Malone make fun of a kid with cerebral palsy while he tries to tell jokes his first year of comedy in a stadium. You know, like that's what most people want to say. And and all that has to do is with the demise of.
Who do you think Jelly Roll has seen murder someone? You
Oh
know,
my God.
like the head of fucking Atlantic Records or something. That guy
I
is
think Jelly
so
Roll's-
hugely famous.
I mean, I
It's
think he's
crazy.
also seen like a Daytona Beach pimp strangle a prostitute. You know, he's got a hard life.
I
leading
know,
up to this.
he just interests me to no end because it just seems like he's now all of a sudden in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Like of hip hop, country, comedy, literally everything. It's crazy.
I don't know if we got to the bottom of that, but
I think we got to the bottom of the fact that I drank too much matcha earlier today,
Yeah.
and I am an explosively emotional person when I'm going through car issues. And, you know, when I feel out of control, I'm the worst version of myself. I hope it's entertaining for you guys. I'm assuming it's annoying for everybody, but that's just my own self-hatred. So, MikeCannonComedy.com for tickets. I'll
This
be
is
out on the road.
going to be episode 3. So we'll be episode 3 of this 3 that we're recording
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even let them. No, this is all weekly.
No, I know. We do this every day. We record an episode every day.
Yeah,
You guys just can't keep up with
decide
all
which
of them.
ones to put out.
Yeah. We kind of at the beginning, it was
We
a little
did.
bit like that.
Yeah.
But I'll be at the Dallas Comedy Club April 18th and 19th, and you should come out to that, or I'll put a paintball gun in my mouth.
That's right. Detroit, Pittsburgh, Toronto. MikeCannonComedy.com.
At Nicole Lyons Productions on Instagram. And follow Beautiful Boys on Instagram.
And YouTube.
Rukata.